Hi, Tammy. How are you doing?
Hey, Sid, I'm doing great, thank you. How are you?
I'm good yourself on this beautiful sunny day, and you're still in South Africa, right?
Yes, I'm in South Africa and I'm enjoying this beautiful, dull, overcast weather, which we never see in the UAE. So I'm really, really loving it, loving every minute of it. And every time it rains, people think that I'm mad because I run outside and just enjoy the like proper rain. Because in the UAE, when they say it rains, it's literally just a little drizzle that dirties the
Mhm.
car, and it's not enough to call it rain. So I'm loving the weather here.
You still in Joburg, or have you come to my side of the woods in Durban?
No, I'm in Johannesburg. I'm in Centurion, and we've
Awesome.
got some beautiful weather. I've got some workshops going on. So yeah, next month I will be in Durban.
It's nice you mentioned about the workshops because that's what our chat will be about on the healing, the vision, and the manifestation. To get that
Yes.
started, what inspired you to bring your workshops on healing, relationships, vision bonds, and manifestations to South Africa at this time?
So, as you know, I've written a book called Sayos, my very first book that I've written. It's a brutally honest memoir of how I chose divorce over suicide and murder, and how I've overcome, the toxicity of being in a traumatic marriage, in a toxic marriage, and getting out of that and actually finding my happily ever after and started living my life again. So a lot of people came through and asked, how did you do this? I need help. I need assistance. So what I've done from there, I've actually did a coaching and mentoring course, and I thought, let me try and use my skills to help other people. So while I was in the corporate scene, I I started started this process, and I started giving workshops, especially on relationship healing. So relationship healing is not only husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend. It's not only a love relationship, as in partnership. It could be mother and child. It could be subordinates and or peers at the workplace. It basically could be. It culminates all relationships. And I've done it previously in Saudi, and it worked phenomenally well. And then
Wow.
obviously with my move to Dubai, like in Saudi, a lot of the action involved the little girls as well. So in Saudi, remember, there's all expats there as well. So they're coming there, totally new environment, don't know what to expect. So they have lots of relationship issues, and relationship could be like even the kids in the compound where we stayed. So it's, as I mentioned, relationship culminates all types of relationships. It could even be relationships with your pets. Sometimes you have such a love for them, and sometimes you just can't stand them. So you never know what prevents you, what past hurt, past trauma that comes up, that shows up in your life, that prevents you from accepting these different types of relationships. And also, people, when they go through hurt and trauma, stuff that happened in their childhood, they can't prevent that. That's happened when they were little. They bring that into this day and age, and they don't know how to deal with that. So the reason for my workshops is to unpack that. Look, some of the workshop, there's lots of tears, there's laughter, and there's a lot of forgiving, and then you move on from there. It's a healing process. So that's what my workshops are mainly for. And especially at this time, I found there was a lot of request from my South African clients to do a workshop, and I thought, why not do it in person? So I've got a few workshops lined up for Johannesburg and for Durban currently.
Oh, when's the one in Durban coming up?
The one in Durban will be in April. We're just trying to confirm a
Oh, okay.
venue, and yes, then I will publicize that.
Okay. It'd be awesome to catch you up when you're there.
Yes.
Okay. In your healing relationships workshop, what core emotional patterns do you help? participants identify and transform?
So one of the key things is I focus on is forgiveness. So often, it's like, you have a traumatic situation which is plaguing you, and you don't know how. You may not, physically, you may not. It doesn't bother me. I'm tough. I can do this. It doesn't really affect me. But on an emotional, on a subconscious level, it really is there. So what
Hmm.
I try and do is I unpack that deep set emotion and try and let you go back and you heal. Look, it's not a switch. It's not something that happens overnight. It's a process, but I start the process. One thing that I would like to get into eventually is the hypnotherapy, which is a lot quicker in response, but it takes a lot more out of a person, a lot more sessions, but that is more one-on-one sessions as opposed to the group sessions that I do. And right now, my focus, because there's so many people that have approached me, my focus is the group session. When I look at your relationship with yourself, a lot of people can't even look at themselves in the mirror, where they don't have that self confidence. And I try to let them see that the one thing when I do my slide, I have a sperm and an egg. And I tell people that you won the race from day one, not the day that you were born, but the day that you were conceived. Because remember, out of 40 million sperms, you were the one that won the race. So that when I show that, people have that aha moment to say, you know what, I'm here for a purpose. And that is like a trigger for them to actually say, I'm here for a reason. And that they unpack as to say, why, what is my purpose? Why am I here? And then we work from that. And then going forward is I look at I give you homework, and we do a lot of gratitudes, because I honestly feel that the more you are grateful, the more you will have to be grateful for. And then the last part is the ongoing practice, the ongoing homework. So I don't just give you the workshop and drop you. No, it's a healing process that develops from there. And then I have 6 WhatsApp groups with ladies where I do gratitudes every day. I do 5 gratitudes every day, and it doesn't have to be exorbitant things, or like really Lani things. Like I'm grateful I have got a BMW or a Mercedes Benz or whatever. No, it's simple. I'm grateful to have clothes to wear. I'm grateful to have a warm meal every day. Simple stuff that we take for granted. So
Hmm.
that's the idea of the workshops.
You mentioned about the hypnotherapy. Are you saying it's more do academically, like it would take 5 years or something like that?
Yes, it won't take that long because I've
Oh,
done a
okay.
lot of groundwork already. But yeah, academically, I want to practice it, and I want to actually get a qualification in it rather, and to learn how to do the hypnotherapy, because even on a Tuesday, I join a group of ladies where we're all energy healers, and we come together and we pray for people. So we pray. It's called the power of H. So if you put H on its side, it's an infinity sign. So we
Mhm.
do believe that the more you pray for people, the more good comes to you.
Mm.
So
Awesome.
even with that, we've actually found phenomenal results just praying for people. And in that group, we've got Reiki practitioners, we've got EFT practitioners. One of the other ladies, she does the auricular acupuncture. So if you look at the ear is
Mhm.
actually the shape of a fetus, and she does the acupuncture on the ear, and she puts these magnetic studs onto. I forget what the little bone is called that's jutting out. She puts magnetic studs on there, and she's had phenomenal results, especially with kids that are ADHD, people that suffer from anxiety, from trauma. So there's different forms, there's different modalities of healing, and this is what we want to do. We want to create this like a healing platform, so everybody has a safe space to come to. So, and people in this day and age, people can't come to me and say, "I didn't know."
Mm,
the Google, there's so much of search engines that you can find out word of mouth. If you go into these
mm,
different Facebook groups, there's so much that there is out there, and you need. When I started these searching as well, I was actually quite taken aback as to the amount of healing modalities that there are. There is something that I also do. I've done about 4 sessions in Dubai, called the sound bath healing. So you're in a very in a zen type of room where the lady takes you through like a meditation, and it's all sounds with different healing bowls, and she's got massive healing bowls from Tibet and Shanghai and the like, and then she has the small one, so it ranges, and it's all the banging of the bowls and that ringing sound. And she even has, in the Hindu, the symbols, those little symbols when you're having a bhajan. She even ends up with that. So those, I've actually been for those sound baths, and they're phenomenal. They're absolutely healing. It's the when you come out from there, it's like, like you had this beautiful body massage, and you're feeling so relaxed, and you just don't want to do anything. So there's so many healing
mm.
modalities, that healing workshops, and I would suggest anybody that has been through trauma, be it a loss of a loved one, be it divorce, be it separation, whatever it is, go and have sit in on one of these workshops and see it through. I've also had people that have come for a workshop and they're so closed off that this is not for me, and they walk away from it. But lo and behold, like I always say, bring a friend along. So what happens is, and the reason for that is, sometimes you are so hurt that
Mm,
you block yourself off. So if you bring a friend along, and sometimes these people see, oh, my friend is prospering, my friend is doing so much better emotionally, maybe I must relook at this. And almost 80% of the time, I have people coming back. A lot of people, especially when the hurt is so deep, they say, can you do a one-on-one session? And I will gladly do a one-on-one session. So that goes into more life coaching. And that's what I do offer.
awesome. All right. There's a question for you in the comments, which kind of leads into my next question. Hi, Tammy. This is from Rish Chitan. Hi, Tammy. I would like to know more of the vision board and how it works.
Hi, Jitin. Thank you for the question. So, the vision board, I think we covered it in 2 sessions ago, but the vision board is, you portraying, as I said to you on my previous laptop, I would have shown you, I've got the vision board set up. I've also got, I don't know if you can see that, but I've got my vision board on my phone as well as a screensaver.
Wow.
So it's something that you need to look at. I don't know what aspect you are looking for in particular, but we can maybe do another session on the vision board. But the vision board is, you take, as I mentioned on the previous session, is I every year I do 100 goals, or close to 100 goals,
Mm,
and it can be simple things. From there, I write down those goals, and I take things that I can put into a picture form, be it a physical picture form or a digital. I put it down on my vision board and I look at it. Say if you want to become a movie star, I would take a Bollywood movie star. I would take one
mm,
of those movie adverts, and I would crop out my photo, and I'd place it onto one of the main characters. So this is the type of things. And I actually watched a show with Karan Johar recently, where he interviewed a young actor, and he did the very same thing. Priyanka Chopra, she did the very same thing. So, this is what your vision board is all about. It's fake it till you make it. So, put up these
mm,
pictures, put up your sayings. Your vision board is not just of the pictures, it's positive sayings, it's seeing yourself in a better place. So, your vision board can have immediate stuff that you want to accomplish. It can have 5 year, short term, long term, 10 year. stuff that I put on my vision board, like when I was abroad, I, because of being married to an Egyptian and the process of getting my ikama, etc., I put down my ikama on my vision board where superimposed my face onto a random ikama, and it's all in Arabic, so I didn't understand what it said, but I put my face on there, and I managed to get it. So these are the type of things. And what I do is I keep a PowerPoint presentation of my vision board, and I've got a sheet on there of all the things that have come to pass. And look back at it and I say, oh wow. Oh, I did that in such and such a year, and oh wow, I did this and I did that. So even with my children, I even put my children down on my vision board. And I was in South Africa in 2018, and we had a huge family get together for Christmas, and I used the same photo because it's all the same family besides the one brother that passed last year. I use the
Sure.
same photo and I put it on my vision board, and I say, I want to do another family reunion where everybody gets together. So these are the type of things that you can put on your vision board. And what's nice to do the digital one is I keep chopping and changing. If I see something, like if I go and do a talk somewhere, and if I see something and that is something so nice, I'd like to achieve that. Like the as I mentioned about the hypnotherapy, that is something that's on my vision board where I've got a picture of somebody sitting, and they've got another one where they've got their eyes on or their hands on the person's eyes, they're closing the person's eyes. That's something that I want to do. I want to do the hypnotherapy. So these are the type of things that you can put on your vision board and look at it daily. In my previous house, I actually had my vision board secured to my ceiling. So as soon as I open my eyes in the morning, I look at my vision board. And remember, it registers in your subconscious. As soon as I go to bed at night, before I go to bed, I'm looking at my vision board. So it's there, it's a reminder all the time. And if something is in your mind's eye all the time, it will come to pass. I hope that helps
Yeah, I'm
you.
sure that yeah, I'm sure that helped. Yeah, yeah. I think she puts two follow-up comments here whereby she says, I normally call it a manifestation, and the other comment she puts, which I do always when I visualize. Yeah, those were her two comments there.
Yes, so manifestation and visualization is two different things. Manifestation
Oh, okay.
is, yeah, so the visualization, you visualize the dream into being, so it's
Mm,
silent sitting, seeing yourself. So that I do as well through meditation. And
okay.
but first, before we do that part, you actually got to do a forgiveness, because how many
Oh,
people they say, oh, I want to win a 1 million rand, or I win a
mm,
million rand is not even enough these days. So I say I want to win 50 million rand, so
sounds good.
your past childhood trauma, say if
Mhm.
your mother told you wanted something for your birthday or for Christmas, and your mother said we don't have money for that, that registers in your psyche from a little age. So we go back and we do forgiveness, we do healing, and then we come through and we say, right, now we're ready to receive. So we do the visualization and we do the manifestation. So that's chunks of it. That's how we do it. I hope that answers Rishika.
Sure. How does your vision board workshop go beyond simply creating a board and move into real alignment and intentional living?
So, like with my vision board, in our session the previous time, I said, I have become a little bit lazy with that. But
Oh,
every Friday, I have a date with myself. I have a coffee date with myself where I sit down with a coffee or a chai, and I look at my vision board, and I reassess the week what I have done. So I've got a lot of projects on the go at the moment. So therefore, it's taken a little bit of a back burner.
mm,
But I look at what I have done for the week and where I could improve. And I look at the vision board and I say, okay, I've got this on my vision board. It's now here for some time. What am I doing to get towards my goal? Like if I'm writing a new book, yes. it's nice to write a new book, but if I'm
Mm,
not doing something daily or weekly, so you also need to put peg when you want to achieve something. So when say in December I want to launch my new book, and if I haven't started writing now, or start putting in, as I mentioned with the previous talk, DDA, daily deliberate action, you can't come to November and think, oh yes, need let me cram it in now. It ain't going to work, because there's
mm,
processes, there's ways to do things, remember about the editors, the publishing,
mm.
the layout, the illustrations, all that has got to come into play before the actual launch of the book. So you need to start well in advance. So I look at my vision board and I think, okay, that is something. Look, I have some hairy, audacious dreams in there. Like, I mentioned previously, I want to drive a Bentayga. I want to own a Bentayga. That is the Bentley SUV. I have
Wow.
it on there. That is so that is something that I won't really look at and say, oh, how am I going to achieve that? I know it's going to come, but with me doing these workshops, with me creating an income for myself, eventually I know I'm going to get there. So that is something that I won't say, okay, let me see who I can rob today, or which bank I can steal. I'm not going to do that to go and get the Bentayga. So you go for the low hanging fruit, you work on that, and then you progress from there.
Awesome. How does, in your manifestation workshop, how do you balance spiritual principles with practical action steps?
So what I do is I combine a lot of the principles, spiritual principles, like prana violet healing, where you're
Mhm.
doing the forgiveness, the universal prayers. So I try to do it because my workshops are universal. So I look at the spiritual workshops that I have been to, that I do on the side, even the Vedantic teaching. So Vedanta is something that I've been doing now for 9 years, right?
Wow.
And it's the teachings of Swami A. Parthasati, and he's 97 years old, and he's still living in Pune in India. And it's one of my dreams. I would love, love, love to go and visit him in Pune in India. And when you talk to him, so once a year on his birthday, we have my teacher who's here in South Africa. We have a online chat with Swamiji, and his famous saying is, like, he'll say 95 not out, because he loves cricket. So everything is like brought back to cricket, or he'll say 97 not out. So that's what he says. Like he's still here, and the intellectual conversation that you can have with this man, it just blows my mind how wonderful it is. You come out feeling there. Sometimes you come out feeling there, oh wow. Sometimes you think, oh damn, it's like, am I that ignorant, or am I that stupid? Um, but there's so much to learn. If anybody
Cool.
wants to develop their intellect, I will tell them, please go and research about Vedanta. There is so many online classes around the world, live classes,
Mhm.
e-learning, where it's done already, it's done by Swami. You can log on to that. Even go and visit the ashram in Pune. It's such an eye opener. I've seen, my son has done it. My 23-year-old son has done it when he was 14. And
Okay.
that has been such a foundation for him now. Sometimes, I actually seek advice from him, because I tend to
Oh,
forget. So the whole idea is to live in the now. That's what it teaches us.
oh, when you mentioned your son, you're referring to Trevor, right?
Trevor, yes, yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. What kind of transformation can attendees realistically expect after participating in these workshops?
So, what I have seen, quite a few of the attendees, they have that aha moment, or
Hmm.
they release. They've been carrying this baggage all this time unnecessarily. And when you make them, it's like the saying, you don't know that you don't know. So
Mm.
when you make them aware of, people come across, I don't need this, I am quite strong. But when you
Yeah.
unpack things, and there's one of the parts in the session in the workshop where I actually make them use an eye mask, so you
Oh.
feel safe. Yeah, like the one that you get on the plane or one that you sleep at
Mhm.
night. But
Yeah.
I make them use the eye mask, and it's a releasing session. So there's lots of tears, lots and lots of tears. The most hardest nut that never cried before will cry. So it's the releasing
Wow.
pattern. So I do that just before the lunch session,
Mhm.
a lot of healing, letting go. So you feel safe behind that mask, that nobody's watching you, nobody's judging you, nobody, and everybody in that room is there for the similar reason. So you don't nobody's going to say, oh, she cried blue murder, didn't know a simple thing like this could
Mm.
trigger somebody crying. So nobody is there to judge you. Just understand that. Remember, you are in an absolute safe space, but whatever happens there gets left there. We
So
don't,
basically,
yeah.
oh, oh no, sorry, you first. Sorry, I intentionally interrupted you.
Yeah, so I say we don't encourage, like tittle
Mm.
telling and saying, he said, she said kind of thing. So it's not only open to women, it's
Okay.
open to everybody. Yes.
No, I was just gonna say, like in a nutshell, so it's more of a place to open up your vulnerability than just to have an open mind and stuff like that there.
Correct, correct. So it's also to bring out the confidence in people. I've found this as well, where especially people that come to the workshop and they come from a divorced relationship, they don't want to move on. It's they feel that it's especially where the spouse is cheating, be it a male or a female. I'm not talking only females here. So where the spouse is cheating and they feel, it's me, everything is me,
Yeah.
what did I do wrong, where did I maybe I'm not too pretty, maybe and I've seen actually, and my workshops sometimes I'm very honest. And what I like to do is, often I like to meet a person in their home, right? If they want like a one-on-one session, they say, oh, the workshop didn't work for me or whatever. And I go back to them and say, let me meet you in your home. I promise you, so I've had a few clients where I go to the home to meet them, and they open the door. Their hair looks like it never saw a brush or a comb in a week. I've seen some people that are so shabbily dressed. They've got sweatpants and a tracksuit on with holes in it. It's not even holes, it's like more like craters. And the one lady that I was counseling, I actually asked, she said, oh, my husband's having an affair. And, she just doesn't cook any long, or she does cook something and it's just very slapdash, no effort into it. So and she said she stopped working. All she does is she watches series the whole day, and they don't even have dinner together. The kids are grown, the kids are in university, and there's nothing, it's just such a dull, boring life.
Mm.
So I asked her, I said, will you come home to you?
Wow.
And she said, what do you mean? So I said, understand your husband is with at the work environment. He's interacting with these blonde bombshells, with these ladies with legs up to their armpits, makeup, these real dollies. And will you come home to you? And I think that is something that hits home very hard. As much as people say that the person must accept you for who they are,
Yeah.
you need to feel better for yourself, not for another person. If you feel better, your aura actually changes. The light from inside actually glows brighter. I've seen this. I've been through a divorce.
Hmm.
Excuse me. And people never knew that I was going through a divorce. Look, makeup does wonders, right? Yes, I
True.
had the bags under my eyes. I never used to sleep. And there was one time I actually went for medical help because in one weekend I slept from Friday to Sunday night. I slept 2 hours total, and I did have the bags under my eyes, and I needed to get some sort of sleeping aid. And you can get through these things. There's so much out there, but do something for yourself. The moment you feel better, you feel more confident, you feel more alive, you glow a different energy. People from these workshops, they actually contact me and say, I had a wow moment, I had this aha moment. It's, something has changed. So I felt the shift, something has shifted in me. I'm feeling more confident, and I'm not saying do this for other people. Other people will notice you, but you do it for yourself first. Talk in front of the mirror, tell yourself how much you love them. And there's simple tips and tricks that I do. Like you
Mhm.
brush, if you're right-handed, you brush your teeth with your right hand in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Before you do that, you go in front of the mirror. In those sleepy, groggy eyes, you say, I love you 10 times, right? You brush your teeth with the opposite hand. Change the thing, so you're changing, you're forcing yourself to change to better
Mhm.
yourself. And, these tips and tricks actually work and they help.
Wow, that's really profound. Finally, who are these workshops best suited for, and what mindsets should someone have before attending?
So the workshops are basically open to anybody, male and female. I will look at children, especially,
Yeah.
from, trying to gear them up now. I am working with one 10-year-old where
Oh,
I'm coaching her, and I'm seeing her results from being a 60 percentile child. She's now in the 90s. She three
wow.
times last year she has come out in the first three, and in the final exam she came out second. So the school monitors every term. So I've seen a difference in her from the coaching. So, a lot of teenage girls these days, they're going through obesity, they're going through that self confidence issues. You see kids these days, they're literally doing this with their phones.
Yeah.
They're not taking a book, they're not reading, but they're doing
Yeah.
this with their phone. What is that teaching them? And there's so much of peer pressure, there's so much of pressure from social media that people feel that, I need to live up to that, I need to do this, I need to
Mhm.
do that. The pressure is so intense. And what is so strong, I hear of young children committing suicide. They don't even know what it means, but they're doing it. They're doing it as children as young as 12 and 13. That's what they're doing. They can't handle that pressure. But if you make them stand up, and the bullying sometimes gets to them
Yeah.
where they really cannot handle it. So we need to teach them that self-confidence to get from where they are to the next level. And a lot of the time, I often tell them, how many of our school friends did we carry up into our adulthood? You know, those people that bullied you and stuff, they coming from a place where it's either jealousy of you,
Mhm.
or they're coming from some sort of trauma that they're acting out on you. So you need to understand that they are portraying something which they cannot express. So there's a lot of the times you need to unpack each situation and see how it's affecting you and understand where that person is coming from. So this is where the forgiveness comes in all the time. I always keep going back to the forgiveness.
Mhm.
Even if you're forgiving somebody at a subconscious level, you've got to do it to move forward.
Awesome. I wanted to just confirm with the age group for your workshop. Is it like any age group, or does it like start at the moment at adulthood?
Any age group. I'm not doing kids at the moment. I'm doing
Oh,
more young adults,
okay.
and above. Anybody. I've had a
Like
75 year
18
old.
onwards. Like
Pardon?
18 onwards. And I'm saying so we'll start like at 18 onwards or something like that.
Yes, yes. So, at that
Okay.
age, you obviously have some sort of relationship.
Hmm.
And relationship, not love relationship. I've got young teenagers who's had traumatic relationships with their parents. They can't
Okay.
um, and they can't get along with their either the father or the mother or something. So I would say 18 and above. I've had a lady in one of my sessions who's 75, and she had issues with her daughter-in-law, and she was the sweetest person under the sun. But if you look at it, she was doing too much. She was
Hmm.
really doing, she was like, and the daughter-in-law felt that, she was intruding in her space. So so you could have anybody can come to the workshops if you've had any type of relationship issues that you want to move on from.
Awesome. All I gotta say, as usual, thanks so much for your time, and let me know when you're in Durban. We'll catch up for a coffee.
Absolutely. Love and light to all. Thank you to all the listeners and the viewers.
Awesome. Take care.